KMR Rotary. What is up? We're going to talk some brap today. Basically, decided it was time to give some updates on our future pro drift car. We got the 4-rotor FD3S project right here. We've had a lot of questions coming in. Basically, everybody wants an update, so hey, we're gonna jump right into an update. We're basically waiting on bodywork. We've got a traditional BN Sports blister kit coming from Japan. Really excited about that, so kind of heard it here first. It's an iconic kit, and I've always wanted that kit on an FD3S. I expect we'll have to, work some things out with the wideness of modern suspension for drifting, but the blister kit, the Defend kit from BN Sports is exceptionally wide anyways, so we might just be fine. That's kind of one of the joys of it. We basically stripped everything down. We're getting ready to do some seam welding. We cut some of the seam right here for basically tire clearance in drift cars. You're trying to achieve maximum angle, so the frame rail, the wheel well, everything gets cleaned down, stripped down. Started to work on some of the tubular front end. We basically knocked off all of the core support. Did a little bit of welding and grinding, and are starting to figure out where our hood pins and some of the tubular structure for the nose and for radiator, cooling, stuff like that is going to be. I've continued to clean up and work on the engine bay. Same thing, we are going to do some seam welding in here, kind of stitch things together. I'm actually really surprised at how thin and light the FD3S chassis is. I've worked a lot with RX8s, first gen RX7, second gen RX7, MX5s, Miatas, and I think the FD3S metal, the chassis itself, is potentially one of the lightest I've worked with. It's very rigid, it's very strong. Mazda did an amazing job designing it. It was a homologated race car when it was produced. So Mazda definitely knew what it was doing, and I think part of that was the lightness. So we're going through and making sure everything is clean, because these are older chassis at this point. No rust, attention to detail, weld things up, make it stronger. And like I said, we are going to go with a tubular front end structure for our cooling and bodywork support. In the interior also, kind of if you look back at some of the other videos, we dry iced everything. We've continued to clean it up. We started to work on our pedal configuration and our steering column. Typically, we do go with aftermarket pedals and aftermarket columns, but depending on the class I race this car in, there are circumstances where OEM pedal boxes and steering columns can be required. It is a collapsible column. So we're mocking it up this way. We may end up going to a full race pedal and steering column setup, but right now we're kind of working with rules and the configurations that we're allowed. I love the cage. Cage Kits did an amazing job, and we've started to mock up what our bulkhead system is going to be. And basically, we need a rear firewall. For safety, for rules, and back to I want to be safe. I'm the driver. I'm in these things. We're going to have in the back radiator, fuel cell, oil can for the dry sump. There's going to be all kinds of hot liquids, crazy things going on back here, potentially even a nitrous bottle. So similar to the MX5, we're going with a full firewall. Again, working with rules. There are specs to this. I want a couple things out of this. One, I want it to help strengthen if possible. There's no reason that within the design we can't make things a little bit stronger. I also want it to protect me, and I potentially want a viewable backwards facing window. So we're seeing if we can get approved for basically sheet metal in these areas, and then a Lexan window up top. And all of this will be removable with some of the edges, hopefully with fillet plates. And you can kind of see what we've started in the front here too, with the mock-up or the drawing of some dimple die plates. Got to get the light right there, but that's what's going on there, similar to the RX8. And depending on what kind of racing you're into, a lot of the DTM, Le Mans, JGTC, for chassis strengthening, rigidity of body to roll cage, and driver safety, tying this all together can actually create a lot stronger structure, which is a stronger driver's compartment, safer driver's compartment, and a car that's more resilient if collisions, if contact does happen. And the same thing on these back shock tower mounts. You can see right here, there's additional metal and structure put into this, not only for the roll cage mounting point, but because just some of this FD sheet metal is so thin, trying to keep things structurally tied together and strong within the rules. We just started working on the back end. Basically, the majority of this is all going to get cut off, so possibly in the next video update, there will be floating tail lights for the most part, because like I mentioned, this is where a lot of our racing accessories are going to go. We're actually going with a rear mount radiator. I know I did mention that up front, but I was just thinking cooling, like intercooler and oil coolers, power steering cooler up front, radiator, fuel cell, oil tank, batteries, a lot of components, potentially nitrous bottle will all be back here. So that firewall will help be part of the car's safety. We're looking good. Light as possible, safe as possible, 4-rotor FD3S drift car in the works. Yeah, that's some updates. I appreciate everybody watching, asking questions. We've got suspension on the way. Got a lot more cleanup to do. We're going to paint the chassis. Got seats on the way, bodywork on the way. And once we cut this out back here, then we can start to figure out our fuel cell quick change and some of those other components. So I think that's a wrap. You've seen it. It's in the works. I'm excited. This is the car I dreamed about for so long. The bodywork, the chassis, all of it. Kind of the dream build. So there you go. That's a wrap. I go back to work.